It's not exactly a secret in Hollywood that DC has been an absolute nightmare for Warner Brothers over the past several years, and it all eventually led to James Gunn taking over in a DC Universe reboot. Well, since that time, if you could possibly imagine, it's only gotten more chaotic. We've seen Black Adam, then Shazam 2, and now The Flash be massive box office flops, with The Flash being the biggest box office bomb in studio history, in Warner Brothers history. Blue Beetle looks like it's also going to be a failure. That comes out in a month. But there's one thing left to come out from the old guard at Warner Brothers, and that is Aquaman 2. Aquaman 2, which already was having a problem when it came to test screenings, which already has a massive problem named Amber Heard. I don't know if you guys remember this. People despise Amber Heard in this role. They don't want her there. I don't know if I've ever seen a change.org petition for something Hollywood related with this many signatures. 4.6 million people signed this petition to remove Amber Heard from Aquaman 2. She is so despised. People hate her after what happened between her and Johnny Depp. But no, she will still be in this movie. But apparently, we have no idea how much of the actual core of this movie still exists, because we just found out the chaos that has surrounded everything about Aquaman: The Lost Kingdom. Warner Brothers' quest to build a better Aquaman sequel. 3 reshoots, 2 Batmans, and non-stop test screenings. To some insiders, the fact that Warner's is willing to keep spending money to make the film better shows the studio has faith in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, James Wan's sequel to hit the $1 billion hit. Yeah, Aquaman somehow managed to make $1 billion, 5 years ago? That is not happening with this movie. The state of DC is in utter disarray and chaos. This movie that already had an initial budget of over $200 million. Of course, this happened during COVID, got delayed during COVID. I'm sure that pushed up that budget just like everything else. And now has undergone 3 sets of significant reshoots. This could be one of the most expensive movies they've ever done. And it is in all likelihood, gonna bomb just like we've seen with everything else from DC. But look at this story. This is how chaotic it truly is. They may as well just shelve this thing at this point. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom is in uncharted waters, with the next several weeks potentially setting its course for good or for ill. The sequel to Warner Brothers' 2008 movie is coming off a round of reshoots that occurred in New Zealand in mid-June and involves stars including Jason Momoa and Patrick Wilson. This is the 3rd round of reshoots for this movie. That's almost unprecedented, even for a movie of this scale. The movie was greenlit under the Warner Brothers regime led by former film boss Toby Emmerich and Walter Hamada as a sequel to Aquaman. Principal photography wrapped in January of 2022, but by summer, Emmerich was fired, and then of course, Hamada was fired after that, both casualties of the merger. The movie was in the middle of post-production, beginning test screenings. While a timeline is not clear, from summer to 2022 to the beginning of 2023, Lost Kingdom underwent 2 rounds of reshoots and held several uninspired test screenings. And now they just got done with another one. Holy shit. And wait till we get into some of these details. After 1 round of test screening, new Warner's film bosses Michael DeLuca and Pamela Abdy got involved as they were running point until David Zaslav found a permanent boss. Sources say that in the fall, they took a strong creative stance and got involved in editing. However, when that version tested, it scored lower than the previous versions. By the way, Batgirl tested higher than Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. Just want to put that out there. All right, that is known. That's been something that's been an open secret for a while. Warner Brothers, unlike places like Lucasfilm, do a ton of test screenings like this all of the fucking time. And Batgirl tested higher. They decided to shelve that film. I think probably with everything we've seen, The Flash and Aquaman, they're probably regretting some of those things at this point. That led to another round of reshoots. Different visions of executives notwithstanding, it's unclear what the problems were, but one insider said the issue of story clarity has been an ongoing concern. And then comes Batman. Now, initially, they put Michael Keaton in there, but then with the things they decided to do with The Flash, with the things they decided to do with Batgirl and canceling that, they wanted to remove that, so they put in Ben Affleck. Well, now, no longer are we getting Ben Affleck's last appearance in Aquaman. Now, that part has been completely gutted as well. This thing has gone so many different ways. It's a total nightmare. The latest cut of the film features neither version of The Dark Knight, according to sources, as new DC heads James Gunn and Peter Safran don't want to promise a movie universe that will not come to fruition, nor tie it down excessively to past failures. It was pretty chaotic, said one source. So now James Gunn is getting his way and what he wants to be put in this movie. This is, in all likelihood, going to be an edited together, chopped up nightmare that, again, if you had any hope for it, oh, by the way, the entire thing's a climate change allegory. As for Wan, he was upbeat when he spoke to THR as he continued to work on the film. Quote, "This movie has something to talk about, climate change, but it's still a fun action fantasy movie." If you thought anything was going to get better when it comes to DC, if you had any hope for a movie like Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, I would push that away, because not only is Amber Heard still going to be in this movie, but now they're on their third round of reshoots. This is a movie whose budget, we could only guess what it's ballooned up to. I would guess probably somewhere in the $300 million range. With all the visual effects that have to go into this thing, with all the reshoots, that might be a conservative estimate. We'll see what happens when it's all said and done. We know they really undershot the budget when it came to The Flash in terms of what they reported versus the reality. We'll see if they do the same thing with Aquaman. What do you guys think about this nightmare for Warner Brothers? Let me know in the comments section below. Smash a like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for notifications, share this video out there, and I'll talk to you later.